Hey y'all, Irix Guy here, back again with another wristwatch review video. And as always, I want to give a quick shout out to Archibald Chesterfield III, also known as Archie Luxury. If you haven't watched his videos, you are missing out and you are poorly educated. With that being said, my presentation may not be as exceptional as Archibald Chesterfield III, but I want to tell you what I think. And, I've been involved with wristwatches for over 30 years and learned a lot along the way, learned a ton from Archie Luxury. And actually, Archie Luxury would probably disapprove of this piece. And this is a Ulysse Nardin, or Ulysse Nardin, however you want to say it. I've heard it both ways. Just a very exceptional dive watch. So there's a lot of things that make this really nice. I think the case size is about 42.7 millimeter. So for me, I like to keep, I've got a 7.5 inch wrist, and I like to be anywhere from 39 on the small end to 42 on the larger end. So this kind of, this hits right in the upper range of what I really like. And, I do have some larger pieces of 44 millimeter Panerai and a 47 millimeter Breitling Super Avenger. But this is an interesting piece because you can see the bezel. It's got a wave type look in the bezel, so that's something unique. Another thing that makes this unique, see that right there, the Cyclops at the 6 o'clock position? It's underneath the sapphire, so the sapphire is flat. That's a characteristic of a lot of Rolex dive watches, and Rolexes in general, that people find to be less desirable. Even if they wanted a date, they often go with the no-date references, and I did that with Submariner No Date 114060. But a lot of people do that because they feel like the Cyclops on the Rolex detracts from the just the overall fit and finish of the watch. You don't have that problem with the Ulysse Nardin Maxi Marine Diver that I have right here. And you can see it magnifies the date. And this piece also has, at the 12 o'clock position, a power reserve indicator. As it says, it's a Marine Diver chronometer. This is an officially certified chronometer. The finishing on this dial is incredible. You can see the anchor right there, looks really nice. All of the indices, they have some elevation to them. The lume on this thing in the dark is incredible, and I'm going to do a separate video where you can see the lume of this Ulysse Nardin Maxi Marine Diver. Something also I want to point out is the dial, not just the indices on the dial, but the dial itself. And we're going to do one in the sunlight. Oh, look at how they shine around the indices. It's really nice. But the dial itself on this one, this being the burgundy color, when this is out in sunlight, it almost has a quilted type look to it. No other piece have I seen. I haven't seen any other piece that has a dial quite like this. Now, it's hard to see in this lighting, but again, when we take it outside, get the sunlight to shine on it, the dial has a very pronounced, subtly pronounced quilted look. Very nice looking. The case itself, as one might expect, very well made. And I'm going to cover it up because I don't want y'all to know my serial number. But see that little thing on the side right there? It says number, and then it lists the serial number. That's a plaque. That's kind of a design thing that Ulysse Nardin, or Ulysse Nardin, however you pronounce it, does. And it you're going to find that on most every, if not every, Ulysse Nardin watch. The case uses, the bracelet uses screws, as you can see there. You can get these on a rubber strap. Although they look nice, if you do get a rubber strap, I want to caution everyone that rubber strap you're going to want to get custom fitted for your wrist in the authorized dealer, because they cut it, and that's not something I would recommend doing on your own. So, get it, if you get the rubber strap, get it on get it from the authorized dealer and get it cut and custom fitted for your wrist before you leave. And honestly, I would always steer people towards purchasing a timepiece on a stainless bracelet if that's an option provided, because it's often always easy and it's often always less expensive to get the to get the aftermarket rubber strap or aftermarket leather strap. So the clasp right here, very well made. It does have a little extension here where you can pop it out if you need to, make it bigger to get over like a wetsuit or something. So, nothing like glide lock that's in the current reference Rolex divers. But the bracelet itself, very comfortable, very well made. Again, it uses screws. The center links are polished. The outer links are brushed, and I think it looks really good. It has an anchor on the bracelet there and an anchor there. A lot of people, they're irritated by the anchors. They're like, man, I like Ulysse Nardin, but they got too many anchors everywhere, and that that's a common, that's an acceptable complaint. I mean, these pieces are different, and one thing. Oh, and again, it has a small seconds. I think that's nice. Small seconds, power reserve, and date. Something that they really do a good job with, as I mentioned earlier, the dial on this thing is absolutely phenomenal. And the overall build quality of this piece is great. The crown, very, very reassuring feel when you're setting the time, when you're setting the date. I think the crown feels possibly better than Rolex. The bezel action, since I'm using one hand to hold the camera right now, I'm not going to do it, but it's very smooth. It's not as smooth of a bezel action as the Rolex Submariner. I don't think any timepiece out there can compete with the Rolex Submariner's bezel action. But just a very nice, hey man, it's not one of those, hey man, is that a Rolex kind of watch? Because it's got its own identity. It's not trying to be anything else. It, again, exceptionally well made. When you put it on your wrist, you're wearing something that is very high quality. The one thing I will say, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but Ulysse Nardin as a whole, and again, I think they've been, let's see, when did it say? 1846. Yeah, 1846. They've been making watches a long time. See right there at the 6 o'clock, it says 1846 in the middle of the small seconds. One thing that I will say is that, in the beginning, when I was looking at Ulysse Nardin, or a lot of people just refer to it as UN, they shorten it and just call it UN because they don't know how to say Ulysse or Nardin or Nardone or what. I don't know how it's pronounced. It doesn't matter. But, they looked at a lot of the pieces, and a lot of those pieces were brightly colored. A lot of them had like rubbery type pieces on them. They just didn't look appealing for, your mainstream timepiece buyer. Somebody that's looking at maybe an Omega Seamaster, maybe looking at a Rolex Submariner, maybe looking at a Tudor Black Bay or something. Well, this is a lot higher tier than that, but that type of wristwatch collector, someone that wants something they're going to wear and it'll feel, that it'll have a solid and, long-lasting fit and finish type feel to it. And this definitely has that. Again, some of the other Ulysse Nardin divers, I don't get them, man. I mean, they've got like all these bright colors and they got little, rubber type pieces on them. And, maybe that appeals to some people, but, I buy watches to wear. I don't buy them to try to take care of and not scratch up. And I'm afraid with, a lot of those other Ulysse Nardins, if you got one of those, they may show undesirable wear and tear. I don't have any durability concerns with this piece. And again, I think the fact that it has this burgundy dial, which in this indoor lighting right now is, again, it almost takes on a black type look in the indoor lighting, but outside, it turns into that red burgundy quilted type look, which is super cool. It's definitely a unique piece, but again, if you're looking at Ulysse Nardin definitely don't be offended when you see some of the pieces, because if you're not expecting that, it's almost like, wow, what is that? But yeah, I really like this. I mean, it's definitely again, it's not a, hey man, is that a Rolex kind of watch, or hey man, is that an Omega, or Omega as people may say. It's got its own identity, and that's what's so cool about it. And I'm yet to see anyone anywhere. I've been to a bunch of different countries. I haven't seen a single person wearing Ulysse Nardin at all. I think, as funny as it sounds, I think Jeff Bezos has a, it's not a diver, but I think it's the not dual time, it's maybe a GMT. He's got some sort of kind of obscure Ulysse Nardin reference that he was photographed wearing, but that's the only picture I've seen of like an actual person, wearing it. So from what I've heard, these are very big in Russia, and obviously I'm not a Russian oligarch or anything like that. So I don't know, man. I mean, and again, Archie Luxury would not approve. Archie Luxury would disapprove, and has vocally disapproved of Ulysse Nardin multiple times, and I respect that. I respect his opinion, but I will say that he is unfortunately wrong about this. If he ever had this reference, his opinion of Ulysse Nardin would likely radically change. He's probably experienced some of the other ones, the less desirable references. So yeah, great watch, but again, unlike Rolex, unlike Omega, you really need to go to your authorized dealer, and you really need to try them on, see how they fit. The bracelet on this, if it is tapered, it's a very slight taper, so it's something else to be aware of. The current reference, the Mariner, you're getting a very nice taper. Smaller on the wrist side, and then larger up towards the watch itself. So, but yeah, exceptional pieces, and definitely the amount of effort that goes into creating these dials is phenomenal. I think their dials look better. I'll go as far as, I'll just say it like it is. I think their dials look better than Rolex, and their lume is exceptional. So that brings up another point. Some people say the dials look busy. I don't think this one does, but some people would beg to differ, and that's what makes everybody different, and that's cool, because we don't all collect the same types of timepieces. If everybody did, it would be a boring game. Tell me what you think within the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe. YouTube.com/IRIXGuy. And y'all have a good day. Ulysse Nardin Maxi Marine Diver. Hey y'all, Captain IRIX Guy here. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/IRIX Guy. And ring that bell icon when you do, to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.